that you see right here, this is how a Night Lord looks like when you're molesting that Night Lord. And it's actually fairly simple. Yes, I'm doing it solo right in here, but it's also achievable if you're playing with your friends. Remember that this is a game that demands, I do not know why, is there no voice chat in the game? They should probably add that soon, hopefully. It's not going to be that viable when playing with Randys, but essentially what we're doing in here is that we're taking advantage of the weapons that the boss has a weakness to. And that's ideally how you should be planning for your runs. So every time that you're fighting a Night Lord with a weapon that he's weak to, not only are you going to deal more damage, but also the stagger potential is going to be that much more higher. And you will see that I'm staggering this guy right in here like a maniac. Yes, I am. And sure, naturally, when you're fighting with 3 people against a specific boss fight, they have more resistances, so they take more hits. But it's even more deadly for the boss if every single one of you guys has a weapon that the boss is weak to, because it's going to furthermore enhance that stagger capabilities and potential that you're always going to have. So this trivializes the game like you have no idea. I cannot stress enough how important it is for you to always, every single time, plan your runs into focusing on having a weapon that the boss is weak to. Now, if you go into your boss selection screen, you will see that every single one of these guys is going to have an icon beside their portrait right in here. Every single one has a weakness. Every time, like I mentioned, that you're using this specific weakness, this is going to cause for you to deal massive and tremendous amounts of damage to that specific boss fight, but also the stagger potential for you to be dealing critical hits is just going to be nuts, and it's going to be amazing. So the right in here, the Gladius or Tricephalus, he's weak to holy damage. This is weak to poison damage, this is weak to fire damage, this is weak to electric damage, this is weak to frenzy damage. I believe that this is also holy damage, or is it electric? It's electric. Holy is a little bit more like orange-y, and then electric is a little bit more yellow, so yeah, you should have that in mind. This is also weak to fire damage, and also this is weak to holy damage. So that's pretty nice and all, right? Like, that's kind of nice, but remember that this is a roguelike, and the loot is to some extent designed so that everything is random, and you cannot be planning for you to have a weapon that the boss is weak to, specifically when you're playing with 3 players. Well, I'm here to tell you that that's not actually the case. So we're going to discuss a route, and then we're going to planify something with this specific route that I have for you right in here. This is the route that I took to kill that boss that you will see on the gameplay footage that I will have for you right in here. This is true for any single boss that you fight in this game, and it's good for solo, and it's also good for playing with your friends. It's not going to be good with Randys, because Randys usually do whatever the hell they want to do, and there are specific requirements and criteria that you need to be meeting for you to be able to get all of that stuff. So I'm going to have a list of 3 major things that you will be, let's assume, right in here. I'm not going to focus on a full run, like I'm going to do a separate different video. There's many people explaining their logic on how they plan their runs. This is mine, and I'm not going to explain every single one to you. I'm just going to give you the knowledge that you need for you to be able to molest the boss. My ideal runs, I'm going to guide you through that on a different video. But here we have 3 things that we need to be focusing on. First and foremost, the churches of America. The churches of America are going to give you the overall charges that you want. You want to always maximize your churches America, so that you always have your Estus flasks, so that you always have your flask of Crimson Tears, so that you can be healing all the much more. The second thing is going to be looking for the actual weapon that the boss is going to be weak to. And the third thing is going to be upgrading that weapon, because there's also unique weapons that are natively purple, and we want to have a purple weapon that the boss is weak to. It's good. Actually, the footage that I have for you right in here, I was fighting it with a blue weapon, so you can see that it's doable as well. But also because RNG, which is an aspect that you're going to need to consider, RNG was not in my favor this time around, but we'll get to that in a little while. So those are the three things that you need to focus on. The actual Church's America, the weapon that the boss is going to be weak to, and upgrading the weapon that the boss is going to be weak to. So initially, when I landed right in here, I knew that I wanted to take this church. I knew that I wanted to take this church. I know that I wanted to go up here and take this church, and I believe that there was another church around here somewhere. But ideally, when I planned my route immediately when I got here, I knew that this was going to be the path that I was going to be taking for me to be able to take those churches. But that's not every single thing. The second thing that I wanted to take into account is that I needed to have a holy weapon. I could get a holy weapon. This is very important. This is very, and I mean very, very, very important. Throughout the game world, you will see that there's these locations that they have an icon. That icon means that that location is going to give you a specific elemental weapon type, specifically for that elemental that they have right there. And that's a guarantee. That's not a chance. That's a guaranteed weapon that you're always going to get from there. So if I come into this place, I'm always going to get a holy weapon. The same applies in here, the same applies in here, and the same applies in here. So there's RNG is always something that has to work in your favor as well, because sometimes you might not have locations that are going to have not specific elements for you. In those cases, when you don't have a location that has the specific elements, let's say for example that this was all fire, and then this was frenzy, and then this was cold or ice or anything else, I didn't have any sacred locations that I could visit on my run right in here, then I would instead change my location from this that has I know this is like a 50-50. I know that this was going to give me a fire weapon, then I ignore this and I go into this encampment instead, because this has a chance of giving me something that it might just be a sacred weapon. It's going to have a roster of all of the elements, but it's best going to a place where you might get the chance to get the sacred weapon than going to a place where you know you're not going to get it. So that's how I would go about things. But here I was lucky enough so that I was able to get my holy weapon. This is the weapon that I used to kill the boss immediately. And that's how you should be planning your run. So you already have that run planned that way, that you're going this route to take the Church's America, but also to stop by into certain locations, as you can see me doing right in here. This is the location that I decided to stop by and gather my holy weapon. If you're wondering why did I not stop in here, or why did I not stop in here, it's because the circle was closing in at that time. The circle was closing in right in here, I believe, on my first thing. So I jumped in here, I landed in here. I immediately wanted, when I wanted to explore things, because you want to level up. That's something that you need to do as soon as you start the game. You want to level up on the area that you start. And then as soon as the night was closing in, and it was on a circle around in here, so I knew that I immediately, because I did not want to come back to this location and waste any more time, I knew that instead of my priority being my holy weapon, was taking the Church America right in here. So as soon when I was going up, this thing was already hidden on the night, this thing as well. So I decided that I wanted to go this route. This is where the night cleared for the first time, and that's when I decided that I wanted to get my holy weapon from this place. And this is where I actually got my holy weapon. You see that I stopped right in here. I didn't need it to stop right in here anymore. This is where I got my holy weapon. What's the problem right in there? As you can see, when the night was this is something that is not going to happen to you either. I had the 3 locations, I had the Holy Trinity right in here, I had the 3 things that I needed right in here. I should probably have come initially right in here instead of wasting any time in here, such as life. Do not make my mistakes. But if I had come right in here From the very beginning of the match, I had the Church America, I had the Holy Weapon, and I had the upgrade material. Instead, I wasted time in here. I needed to make a choice, take the Church America. I didn't get the chance to get the upgrade material that you can get right in here. I can't stress enough how important it is for you to get the upgrade material to upgrade your Holy Weapon to purple. From this location, there's always going to be a troll that is always, guaranteed 100% of the time, always going to improve your weapon to purple. Granted, if you have a blue weapon, which an elemental weapon is always going to be blue, so that's going to improve your weapon to purple. All you have to do is enter right in here and hug the right wall. That is going to take you to a troll, which is going to be around somewhere here. Kill that troll. That's going to guarantee you the smithing material. So as you can see, I already had my game won right in here. If I had stopped by in here with these three guys, I knew that this was a win match for me. Instead, like I said, I'm being quite a bit redundant in here, but I do want for you not to make my mistakes. I wasted too much time in here. I should have come in here because the Church America, my weapon that the boss is weak to, and the upgrade material for the weapon. The rest of everything would be a regular single run that you would usually go about on every single run, with the rest of the advices that people have been giving you, the advices that I'm going to give you, how to level up, what are the best upgrades and what's the best of everything. But the skeleton, the core of everything on every single run should be this, and this is important for you to communicate with your friends. Tell your friends, hey guys, first we need to get a weapon, boss, weak weapon, upgrade the weapon, gather the Church America. Once we have completed those three aspects, that holy trinity, you're good, you're golden. You can even separate around the map to explore and gather levels or get more gear, gather passive bonuses and what have you. But this should be the focus if you want to beat every single boss every single time, without a doubt. If you like the content, you like and never super appreciate it, not that you're a gorgeous, beautiful person. You are indeed a gorgeous and beautiful person. Subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, have a beautiful day, goodbye.